Okay, this is a little bit better. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. This is actually my second video today on this topic. You guys already know. So it looks like Spotty Face from 40 Crip called out Lucky from Hoodstocks. It's funny, huh? We say Lucky from Hoodstocks. He's actually from a well-known barrio. But I think it's better that we say Lucky from Hoodstocks, right? This is a dude that he did his thing. He'd been to the joint. He did his street thing. And now he's doing something that's positive for his family. Unfortunately, he attempted a joke. And it was on camera. And it was out there for everyone to see. And I said it the other day. What he said was something that came from the movie Boys in the Hood. The difference was that was two black kids playing when that comment was made on Boys in the Hood. Now, I wanted to react to this video. I debated. I was like, man, I don't want people to just think like everything's getting blown out of proportion. But I wanted to show the contrast between what the OG Gumby from Hoover, the way he addressed this, and the way Spotty Face addressed it. You had one disrespect, calling Mexicans wet bees, calling them beaners, calling them Mexicans. And then you have another OG, Spotty Face, referring to Mexicans as Mexicans, pointing out the truth, the reality that there are a lot of Mexicans that mess with blacks. Not all Mexicans are racist. And Mexicans are not bred to be racist. Spotty Face said he would like to get in the ring. He would like to do some MMA, you know. And I'm going to say right now, I hope that never happens. I hope everything stays content. I hope this opens up a mature dialogue. Creates an understanding. Because, you know, let me say something. The other day I looked, since this happened, since this occurred, I saw a clip. And on Hoodstocks, there were some black dudes on Hoodstocks. And Lucky was right there interviewing them. And they were all clowning. And the black dude told Lucky, man, y'all fork is a tortilla. And everybody laughed about it. And I get it. People will say, well, that's because both races or both ethnicities were there and they were clowning. The hell's on there? And on this occasion, it was a Mexican man. Well, it was two people where no blacks were involved. Now, I don't want to get into the whole ethnicity stuff because regardless of if Lucky is Mexican or not, he's from a barrio. And that's the reality, right? People are throwing it on an ethnicity because of gang stuff. And that's being overlooked. And like I said, I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion, man. I just do want to point out a couple things. So, Spotty Face showed respect, and he'll get respect. That video he did will go a long ways, man. A lot of raza will dig his style because he didn't shoot at everybody. Unlike what Gumby did. And I don't got nothing against Gumby. I don't know that dude. I don't know either one of them. But the approaches of the two men are drastically different. Now I'm 51 years old. I'll be 52 in March, right? And I'm not one of the look. I got a bald head. I'm tatted everywhere. You will never hear me use the N-word. You will never see me sagging. I'm not from the era. And so when I hear people say, you know, both men said, if you hate black people so much, why are you trying to be black? And for a lot of these youngsters, you need to ask yourself why you dress the way you dress. Raza have our own style, our own way of talking, dressing, conducting ourselves. And so when anyone questions why you wear tight clothes and have these haircuts and use the N-word more than a black man, and that's a fact. I see people that are not black use the N-word more than any black people. That's a fact. It's a horrible look. However, I want to say this. When these men say, why you listen to rap music? We've been a part of hip-hop since the formation of hip-hop. Whether it be through rap, whether it be through DJing, whether it be through graffiti, whether it be through dancing, breakdance, Raza have been a part of it from jump. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, we've been a part of hip hop from jump. So it's pretty fucked up to try to lessen our impact on hip hop. Are Raza the best rappers? No. Are some Raza, some Puerto Ricans, some Dominican, are they some of the best breakdancers ever? Yes. Are they some of the greatest graffiti artists ever? Yes. There are 4 elements of hip hop. The Raza been involved in all 4 from the inception of hip hop, from the creation of hip hop. Okay? Also, I don't know if Spotty Face raps. But let me tell you something. Let's say Spotty Face, you rap. I'm sure you're probably going to see this video. Let's say you rap. You put out an album. You put out a song today on Spotify, on all these platforms. Do you want only black people to buy your shit? You ain't going to go nowhere. No. Every artist puts out what they put out, and they want as many streams as possible. You want whites, blacks, Asians, Raza, everybody to buy your music. So it's disingenuous to say, man, don't listen to my music. Don't listen to our music. Don't buy Jordans. Man, Jordans are made in China and Taiwan and other places by a white man's company. Come on now. We all pretty much, especially out here in California, we all grew up near each other. Raza have been wearing Jordans since Jordan came out. We've been wearing Cortezes. You don't hear, look at the Raza are the ones that founded the lowriding culture. I've never heard a Mexican say, well, stop driving our cars. They're not our cars. We hooked them up and other people took a liking to it and they joined the scene and they were welcomed. There's also another thing, man. There have been, I'll give an example. BG Knockout did a video and he said that Mexicans are allowed to rat on blacks. There are a humongous number of blacks that know that's not true, but never spoke up. There have been black podcasters on a particular podcast who have used racial slurs towards Mexicans. The Mexicans weren't up in arms about it. No blacks check their people like, hey man, don't even go there because that's going to open up the door for them to retaliate and say something stupid. I'm not condoning what Lucky said. I'm not going to ever try to justify that. That man will speak for himself, and I believe he already has. But if people are going to hold others accountable, then they should also hold their own accountable. There is not, the stuff in Southern California is nothing like it was 30 years ago, man. The fact that these youngsters, these young Raza, are so into that culture, it leads people to believe that we're getting further and further and further and further away from what happened in the early 90s. I'm about pushing people to represent their last name over anything and do whatever it takes to make that last name shine. Get an education, start a business, become a lawyer, become a doctor. Those are things that are important. A bad joke was told, shouldn't have been told, and a lot of people are up in arms. But the reality is, there's no war between those two communities. I hope there never will be again. There are people on both sides in both communities that are racist, that have hatred. But that's a small percentage. And it's just like when people have trolls on YouTube. Every podcast that's successful has trolls. And that's a small number. They're loud as hell. But there's so much more love than hate. And between the two communities, there's so much more understanding than hate. Those from each community that have hatred in their heart wind up dead or in jail. Period. And it's unfortunate. It really is. It's unfortunate that there are barrios that are over 100 years old in California and they're still thriving. We haven't found a better way. It's unfortunate that there are hoods in LA that are 40, 50 years old and they're still thriving. They haven't found a better way. This type of situation right here, it gets in the way of us bettering ourselves. I said in the last video and I'll say it again. I get a lot of love from the black community for my videos. I have no hatred in my heart towards anybody. That shit is poison, man. When you hate someone else, it's the old saying, when you hate someone else, that's like drinking poison and hoping they die. And you're drinking that poison every motherfucking day. So this video was basically to shout out Spotty Face and to just give my 2 cents and that I really hope that this thing dies down. There is no fight between Lucky and Spotty Face or Lucky and Gumby or Lucky and anybody. That instead this opens up dialogue and puts more of a spotlight on the truth. That there's way more understanding than there is hatred, man. I don't know. The powers that be don't want an understanding. And the powers that be are not in the black and brown community. Look at Chicago. Look at what that city has been allowed to become. The powers that be love it. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.